All right, how's it going, everyone? How's it going? It is a Thursday. I am so excited. It's almost over. This week is almost over. I'm so excited. I this work week's been kicking my butt so badly. And like I feel like it's only been maybe the last couple days where I feel like I've gotten a lot of progress done. Cause like the last what's it called? Yesterday I was able to chip through quite a lot of Final Fantasy 16. It was really nice. I am kind of scared to finish it, but I still have a lot of the hunt board to go. It'll be sad when it ends, but if it ever comes on Steam, maybe I might tune back into it. But I got really lucky on what's it called? Honkai. I got a copy of Kafka. I couldn't believe it. Oh yeah, 1-5 school started for me today. Keep getting lost. Uh, Yeah, it was 1-5. I think we just saw the I guess the kind of murder happen ish. So we are like right here. So yeah, today I got kind of lucky. I pulled a Kafka in like Honkai, like while I was kind of like I think in like the early morning. Yeah, hello, Beal. How's it night? How's it going, Beal? How's it going, Curvy? How's it going, everyone? Oh my. Amiko and the one I hear Star Rail talk. Yeah, this morning I like tried my luck and did some YOLO pulls with like the remaining cards. I did pull a Kafka and I got lucky, but like as like a secondary goal, I wanted to grab a Luca. The big problem is that the game really wanted to keep giving me servals. I skipped all the way to Don Hung. I feel like maybe I shouldn't have dumped like all my like what's it called all my tickets onto like the Kafka banner, just because like I feel bad that I don't have enough to like I guess throw around for some of the other ones, especially for like I feel like there was an enhanced Donghung recently, and that looked really interesting. Yeah, I feel like that was something that I feel bad for not pulling. I think maybe I might have to like scrounge together whatever remaining like free currency I can get, or try to play through Honkai. I feel like Sunday it's a little bit open, so I was wondering if I should like give Kafka a spin on Sunday, or if I should go back to like Cassette Beast or Persona 3. But I'll be mulling between those bunch. But yeah, I need to see what some of the other characters like. I'm so far behind on Honkai. I'm still like kind of around like the sort of like bottom town area where the Fight Club was. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Yeah. I think now that I have Kafka, I'm gonna mostly just try to pull for the boys. Cause like I feel like with Kafka it's like look that's like the final boss. That's like the ultimate like kind of milfy character that I need and or wants. So that one is perfectly fine. But like next time I get like a ton of tickets, it's gonna be for the boys. Maybe a hopefully I get lucky and get a Donung, but I'm not sure if that'll be the case. If like I know the gotcha luck for a lot of like what's it called Hoyoverse stuff is always rough. Like I feel like it's been ages since I pulled a Genshin character that like really like stuck with me. I blew so much of my free currency trying to get Scarmouche, and then like I never get him. Every time the banners come around, I keep trying to save and I never get him. Yeah, I feel like I usually go for big luck because I feel like the last time I ever paid for like a Hoyoverse thing was like maybe like a month of Genshin just to try it out. But like I feel like it's so painful. Like having to gather enough that you think you're fine only to realize that you're not fine. Yeah, I kind of wanted Luca cuz I feel like as much as I wanted Kafka, I feel like It was something where I kept my expectations as low to the ground as possible, and I'm like, if like I get like a 4 from every like 10 pull, like maybe I can get a Luca. But all my 4s were all servals. I actually got one extra Donhong, but that's like the OG. But I guess what's it called? Yes. Yeah, and I'll probably get like I'll get the game started, but I'm definitely gonna like chat a little bit. This yeah, a 5 Yukyong. I feel like that might have been the dude I was trying to get. There's a guy who has blonde hair. Oh no, that's a different person. My only limited is Luocha. I feel like I saw somebody talk about like how they wish that they got Luocha early. I think just because he was like one of the first major ones. Like it was one of those ones where I bided my time, but I felt bad about biding my time because by biding my time I missed out. I was like, oh man, I got too cocky. I flew too close to the sun. I also needed like a healer bad, and I keep on relying on like March 6th, March 4th. My bad. I rely on March too much for a lot of my healing purposes. But yeah, I think as far as my stuff goes, or as far as the thing goes for what was it? For my 5 stars, I got lucky with one particular with a Bronya. I think by the time like I was still like streaming it more often, like I pulled a Bronya and I was like, oh shit, I got a Bronya. But now I guess it's Bronya and Kafka. The rest are kind of like just like a collage of 4 stars. I feel like I have a gallery of 4 stars so often. Oh, you got a Himeko. I feel like I was trying to aim for a Himeko at first, but I kept bombing it. I did not use Himeko. I wanted well. I feel like I was trying to at least. I was hoping that within like the whole like kind of like group polls, I'd be able to pull like someone like Welt, or I think there was a different like kind of like blunt twinkish one. Who is that guy? It wasn't he was like one of the like first main ones. It's better because tea sipping. I know what's it called. Honkai's like a very new one. It was I think Shanyang. Or what is that dude? Like, maybe I should look up a tier list for a moment. Sorry. It was, I believe, Yanking. Yeah. Yanking I was trying to get. And then, like, I bombed him. I think, what's it called? That was the one where they were like, here, have a Bronya instead. Oh, Iris. Yankee. No, what's it called? The, what's it called? This dude. Oh, my bad. Let me try to... Oh, oops. Nope. Nope. It was simply impossible to come back. When I woke up, I was all alone. She wants a adopted son. It's a very fun dynamic. But yeah. When I woke up, I was all alone. Curly and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Ryuulock? Poor Iris, she's trembling. She's obviously trying hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know. Something awful's happened, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid so. Converse. What did Jinghwan just had to be released? That was too bad. Who's missing the chance? Oh, this is him. Oh man, Jinghwan. That dude looks good. That dude looks good. Man, I feel so bad. Like, gotcha giveth and gotcha taketh. I'm sorry I have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windibank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early morning. Oh, yes. I had a feeling. There's a JoJo stand voiced by Jotaro. Daisuke Ono or was it? Oh, Daisuke Ono. Yeah, what a legend. I love Daisuke Ono. Mr. Windibank's skill issue. If I was shot, I just wouldn't die. I feel like Windibank should have known because he's always pointing that gun at himself. So I feel like he should have the bullet dodging techniques down. When we entered Mr. Windibank's in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. We ran out of the streets and I chased after them, but they got away. So it was only one of them who got shot. Mr. Windibank, I suppose. I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. Oh, why not? They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect. Yeah, she got the jelly eyes. She's super sad. Let me check this Wairatsuki dude. If that's a Genshin, let's see. Oh man, yeah. Daisuke, they got Daisuke for all the fine dudes. He kind of almost looks a little bit like a Sanpo, but I imagine he's got a lot more Riz than Sanpo if he's voiced by Daisuke. Gina.
Ginny, but why?
Well, the thing is,
no, Ginny wouldn't do something like that.
Lestrade L. If I was accused, I just wouldn't get arrested. She's so good at running and dodging and escaping from people, but she couldn't do that to like the bobbies. I know, none of us think she did.
Then why have they arrested her?
I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do. Man, you have someone that's bad at dodging, getting killed, and then someone bad at running, getting arrested. Man, that's a rough. He does look like Dark Sanpo. The symbiote Spider-Man 3 Sanpo. Just know the secret technique of runaway. The runaway Smokey. Gina, you should have done that technique.
So where's Hurley then? Is he still investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals.
I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes.
Huh?
He was taken to the hospital this morning.
What?
Well, when we entered Windibanks, a gun was fired and he took a bullet.
Hurley was shot?
No. It's all right. His life isn't in danger.
Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital?
What did Sholmes do again? I think he jumped in front of, I guess, what's it called? The gunman while he shot at Windibank, so I think he was wounded a bit from the gun battle. Because I guess from the looks of it, what's it called? He was shot and killed. In the process, he kind of jumped in front of the bullet. and then I guess she tried to run away and couldn't quite. So there's a huge gunfight in the pawn shop.
I must see him at once.
I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't.
Why not? It's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed.
No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see.
To operate? Oh, poor Hurley.
Injured Shomes. Man, this Nouvelette dude looks quite fine too. I feel like I'm still going to be begrudging and be like, until Genshin gives me Scaramouche, I will not know peace. I will never know peace, only violence always. Only problems always. It was two thugs who were at Mr. Windibank's shop. They shot Mr. Holmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My men went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them, the vengeful spirit for no Scaramouche, a man robbed of his Scara Wanderer. The game gave me Venti, and I was blessed, but they couldn't extend me the same courtesy. After that, I ran out into the street, but, well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them go away.
I think that's a very good thing.
Sorry?
Well, if you've seen which way they went and chased after them.
Me and the Venti on my first ever 10 pull. It was very nice. I ended up, I think my first went on a 10 pull was Mona. And then along the way I got Venti and a Venti, a Jeanne, and a Raiden. I think those are my only 5 stars, and then the rest are all just me trying to make the best of 4 stars. Old Runo.
On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that.
Oh, Iris.
Where's Susie, Runo?
She's still at the police station.
Oh, why?
I expect she'll be still questioned. The police said she wouldn't be finished for a while.
Why aren't you there then?
Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. Miss Usato stayed behind the scene to tend to Shomes, so they didn't get started until later.
I see.
Besides, one of us had to come back with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to have me leave earlier.
You should have let me known, and I would have gone to the station.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I tried to pull that one dude. There was that one dude who, the really big guy, let me try to see. It won't take too long, promise. Who was that dude? Buff guy. Ito. I tried my best to grab Ito, and I kept bombing. I was so sad. There was at least 2 banners I tried to get Ito, and I bombed, and then I tried to get, Skirmish in 2, and I got bombed. Honestly, every time I tried to pull for Ito, if the game thought I was just super thirsty for Goro. So I have so many copies of Goro. I think I also accidentally caught quite a bit of Goro. I need to check maybe on the weekend how many.
I don't understand why they arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the 2 thugs at the scene? Aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they?
No, I mean, Shomes isn't dead, Iris.
This is also horrible. The thing is, Mr. Windibank was found on the floor of the storeroom, where he keeps all the deposited articles. That the storeroom door was locked from the inside. I see. But he wasn't all alone in there. Gina was found next to them on the floor as well. Oh no. And according to detectives who investigated afterwards... Don't tell me. There's no one else in the room? Yes, exactly. How'd you know? It's the one explanation. Free to pull Ayato cons. I can't pull for Kaya. Ayato. I feel like I've seen pictures of... Oh yeah, he always looks so kind and gentle. I like him. I like his design. Let's see. Oh yeah. They have such a good look to them. Both Baizu and Ayato, I understand. What do you mean by that, Runo? What can I say? Damned if I agree and damned if I don't. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment. Can at least try to find out how Mr. Shomes and Gina are getting along. I want to go too. Take me with you, Runo. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting. I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old to a crime scene, but I don't want to leave her alone here either. Alright then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me. Oh yes. She's like, I need to come along. I don't care if I see a body. It'll be an educational experience for me. I'd love to see a body. Gina's at prison. Mr. Shomes is probably in his hospital bed. And don't forget, we still have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation. I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner than later. Man, that reminds me. I was playing the Famicom Detective Club, like, stuff on the Switch. Like, last year. It was, like, either a year or two ago. It was a beautiful game, but, like, those crime scene investigations are wild. Because, like, it's like the Nintendo Switch, and you're looking at, like, bodies. Like, bodies. It's wild. Let's see. I think a visit to this place would be a good idea. I guess probably I'll go to the prison first. Let's see, Ayaka. Ooh. So I want to look up this. I want to look up Ayato because I feel like the reason why I kind of wanted to see him was maybe because of his VA. If he was Akira Ishida, maybe. I don't know. Let me see him. That is Akira Ishida. I love him. He was, what's it called? Kaworu from Eva. I've gravitated so much to that dude. Nintendo, their values of censorship being themselves. I feel like Nintendo is wild for that. Because I feel like the Famicom Detective Club, it's one of their kind of like legacy titles. Where it's like one where they like kind of like updated it for like all the they updated it for like the Switch with like new like polish and everything. You know, it's like the visual novel that inspired like so much stuff. But like the specific stuff is like violence, like some of those scenes. Yeah, Katsuro from Gintama, yay. Man, I feel like there was like a point like back when I was like starting anime when I really like the granddaddy of visual novels, like this Famicom game. They did a really good job remaking it, but like they got like what's their name? The Shinji Megumi Ogata. They play the what's it called? The main person in that game in the Famicom like remake.
She's already pulling the gun on us. They got a grenade launcher in prison? They let you have that? They're like, oh, go along to Scotland Yard. Oh, you can keep the gun. You can keep the grenade launcher in prison. Break out, have some fun.
Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Hurley and I made.
I wish you wouldn't point that at me all the time, though. What are you doing here for?
Ginny,
I had a feeling this is because of us that you ended up in trouble. So we were thinking that we might be able to help you.
well, you can.
Sorry?
You, Ed, get lost. Don't be like that, Ginny. I know you didn't do it. You never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't.
You think you know me? Pull another one. Pull the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw me chance, I sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I could lay me hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am.
But Ginny...
I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by before and said he'd be a lawyer for me or the like. Said it was my right or something. But I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need no one. She couldn't be staring at me any obviously if she tried.
Why are you being like this, Ginny?
Oh wait, no, not move. Converse. Legal representation. What happened? I don't understand, Gina. Why'd you send the public defender away? He'd want me to sign some papers. Representation papers or something like that. It's gonna be rigged anyway, the whole trial. They'll pin it on me cause I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do.
And why do you think that?
Cause that's how it always been for me. Growing up in the back slums me whole life. You do what the grown-ups tell you, it's your mates dragged off by the coppers, or worse. I had it happen before and all. Been sold off and sold out and nearly snaffled on the back of it. You can't trust no one, that's the point. Soon as you do, you're gone to grass, dead.
Gina, listen.
If you like, and tomorrow's, forget it.
Ginny, don't you trust Ryuulock?
Nah, I don't. Look, I'm asking you nicely now. Just leave me alone. What happened? Will you tell us what happened, Gina? No one wants to trust us. At the pawnbroker, especially not Gina. How dare. How could. There's nothing to tell. I figured it'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. But the old bloke walked out on me and you know the rest.
But why, Ginny? Why would you do that?
Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't easy, you know. There's a lot of work and half the time you don't even get nothing. Is that really why you broke into the place? What? Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else? Oh, give it a rest. What be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference.
Please tell us, Ginny. We'll believe you, whatever it is.
Believe me? Don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've done some unforgivable things, I have.
Oh, what do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies?
What do you mean before Gina when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? What did I miss? It was mostly just interviewing Gina. For the most part, she really doesn't want a lawyer and she doesn't trust us, even though we're trying to get her to trust us and be her lawyer. Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you told are? Maybe we can help. We have to lurk a bit. That's okay. No worries. Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now.
Ginny, please.
Oh yeah. I want to give you this. Something to remember me by. Oh, little white cat. Photographic print of a really adorable cat. I used to have a white cat. It was like a family pet. His name is Sunny. I think last month he passed away, but it was I mean, he was really old at the time, so it was all right. He was able to live quite a while. He was a big fat white cat. Very grumpy too, liked to bite a bit. I found it in one of my old pockets in this coat. Ain't no point in me having it.
I wonder what this little photograph was doing in the pocket of an overcoat.
Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye.
Oh, Ginny.
Photo of a sweet white cat. Oh, little sweet white cat they mentioned. She big soon. Yeah, the little head turn, the little... It's not like I want to do anything like that, Baka. Let me read this first. Look on the back of this print here. There's something written on it.
13th February, 9. Article deposit, 1 small box. Loan paid 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, 13th of April.
So this photographic print is a redemption ticket?
13th of February, that could be significant. It was just 2 days before the murder on the omnibus, wasn't it?
Small box. Doesn't tell us much about it, does it?
Bruno, if Mr. McGilded still had the ticket, then presumably he never redeemed the article. So do you think the box might still be present in the shop somewhere?
Ah, yes! It's something McGilded deposited. We need to investigate. Alright. The pawnbroker's ticket. Owned by the victim in the form of a handwritten note. That's good to know. Saint Sinners. It's a very ominous, like, name for, like, a hospital. Like, that must be rough, like... You got some cute tickets, these pawnbrokers. Little, like, postcards that have, like, little kittens on them. Like, I'd be willing to go to this pawn shop if it means getting, like, a little cat postcard with my ticket stub on it.
Early, oh. He's not here.
The hospital sure needs the walls redone. Yeah, that looks like it's given out. It doesn't look any better than what's-his-name's place. What's it called? Natsume. That's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in the bed by the window, didn't he? Yeah, the windows are so bad. The walls are so terrible. So cracked.
Oh, I know what's happened. Curly was being a big baby and the bullet wound wasn't bad, so they got him sent home.
I'm not sure about that. Baby or not. There's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that he suffered.
Oh.
Be like, don't let me reassure you. Something bad happened to him.
Hello, what we have here? This ward is off limits. No visiting. What are you doing in here, eh? Well, I'ma have you know. We're Hurley's next of kin. Oh, well, begging your pardon then, madam, sir. A little lady and a curious Eastern gentleman. A great mystery solver. As a mysterious family, eh?
If that's how you see us, sure.
Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley?
Wait a second. Does he think we're together? Like me and Ryuulock? An older Eastern gentleman, a little girl, and Ryuulock. Like, either I'm like an older relative, an older brother, or like... Oh, I think he's our cousin. Either I'm a cousin or like some like fling that's come to the hospital for visitation. An adopted son. I just happened to be... He happened to adopt a son that was like maybe a few years younger than he was. It's like, I just adopted a friend at that point. I just want to adopt someone that I can share tea with. Or like, listen to like the video phone. Listen to violin with. There's the same immunity to anesthetics because of his opium addiction. I also ship Ryuulock. I feel like I like, what's it called, Asogi and Ryunosuke the most, but I could definitely see Ryuulock.
I believe he's currently in the operating theater, ma'am, undergoing an extensive operation. Extensive? It has been several hours since we went in. Since he went in. Oh dear, is he going to be alright? Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you see. The anesthetic, that is.
What did you say you ship? I didn't hear. Oh, it was, I like to ship Kazuma and Ryunosuke. But I feel like Ryunosuke and Ryuulock is nice too. I guess, what's it called? The first chapter and like a little bit of that second chapter really like hooked me in.
I have heard a report of the gentleman claims that I have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is.
The good old Asori.
Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that he won't be out here for several hours then.
I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps we should leave and come back later.
Oh, poor Hurley.
Let's see. I guess we're going to that crime scene. Let's see. It would be the pawn shop. Raindrops drop top. I'm Mr. Windabank, and here's my pawn shop. Why does that ship name remind me of Padoru? Oh man, I miss Padoru. I remember when that was always like a huge thing during Christmas. Was just hearing like Nero from Fate like Extra just sing like that Christmas song. Ashire sori yo kaze no yo ni tsukiri hara wo padoru padoru. I love it. I need to, when Christmas comes along, like I need to share this. Ryuulock's trying to hide his addiction. Coffee won't do that. Have an extensive knowledge on drugs for author's reasons. Yeah, I assume that was it called. By saying that there's too much coffee, like, I imagine that's just like a cover-up for like, oh yeah, opium. A lot of opium, a lot of cocaine. It was a Padoru Rising remix. I need to see that. Sam being cut with Padoru. I love that.
This is where it happened last night.
That's right. The two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place looking for valuables.
But apart from the policeman here, you wouldn't happen to know anything that happened. There's no sign of a disturbance.
No, you're right about that actually. I can send it to Amana server. Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm in the Amana server, so I could always check her Discord for that.
In fact, if anyone's in the police who seems to be the ones doing the ransacking...
I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals all dressed in black.
I heard that.
Oi, I heard that. Oh, Inspector, good morning.
I suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. We got to the scene before it was all disturbed, you see. Shame you had to let the two rogues get away, mind.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. He's still with the fish and chips in his old newspaper.
I thought you assigned extra men to the beat around this time, Gregsy. Now look what's happened. Hurley's been injured because there's not enough police on duty.
Your ladyship! No one told me you're coming.
I expect you take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see that he has the best medical care.
The newspaper is metallic at this point with how it's not soaked. I'm surprised, because what's it called? Yeah, I imagine, like, with, like, newspaper, like, usually, like, a lot of that chip batter and a lot of, like, what's it called? A lot of the fish batter kind of, like, gets that, like, oil kind of, like, soaked in the paper. And especially if you, like, drizzle some, like, what's it called? Some malt vinegar on it. Like, yeah, that newspaper doesn't stay, like, dry.
Of course, your ladyship. The best doctors in the captain attend to him as they speak.
And I don't think it's Runo's fault that the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job.
Absolutely, your ladyship. As you say, ma'am, as you say. The gent in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that.
Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change.
Oh, where are we, manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship?
Perhaps you like some juice? Some nice, refreshing fruit juice. Oh, why? Are you thirsty, Gregsy? I have some my special herb tea with me, if you'd like some.
Lovely. Ah, very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship.
All the fish and chips is pretty much just the crime scene is stained with your chip batter, with your greasy fish and chips, all because you wanted a sip of some fine herbal tea. I don't even recognize him like this. That's some good cheese tea.
Thank you for the tea, sis.
Oh man, he got a new batch of chips. Oh wait, no, why am I moving? I need to talk with him. Man, he's gonna get sour as fuck with me again. So, how's the investigation going, Inspector?
Nothing to it, really. Pretty simple cases. There is some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge the diver we arrested last night, in fact.
Gina, you're gonna charge her?
That's right. Should be able to finish before the judge at the Baileys.
There are like 2 cups of different tea in the room. I do have a cup of tea in the room. I usually love to have like a honey ginger tea, like whenever I do like Ace Attorney streams. Usually on Sundays I have like a cup of coffee with like a cup of tea. So it'll be like hot coffee and cold coffee and hot tea. It's like I gotta have 3 different drinks on me.
Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me.
Your ladyship, as much as I'd like to oblige you, I'm afraid.
I see. You've already captured a pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you?
What the?
And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you?
How could you? How could you possibly know that?
I had a feeling. That's all.
Of the hot love mix of orange and pepper black tea and puree, I think. That sounds really good. What's it called? I feel like sometimes I get like, what's it called? Like an orange rooibos, but orange pepper black tea sounds so good. I love tea so much.
I had a feeling that's all.
Tea is love and tea is life. I have so much tea. I bought some like cardamom black tea like I think recently. I used to drink it a lot when I was younger, but like I rediscovered it and like I could never get it. I never get enough of that, along with like some Earl Grey, some like sencha. I bought a little sencha and I also bought like a sencha with like cherry, like a cherry blossom like essence. That's really good. I made some what's it called? Some cold brew with that. I feel like Amana's been drinking it quite a bit. I usually end up making a lot of cold brew for cold brew like tea for Amana because she likes to sip on it. So usually I make like black coffee for myself, like cold brew. Remind me to never keep secrets from Iris. One Japanese envelope, one not opened yet. I have a few envelopes of like green tea. I know there's one that's like a blend with like lavender, and then another that's a blend with like sage. The sage one is just like a regular David's tea one, but like the lavender blend I think is from like some place like some tea shop that I went to like a few years ago. There was one place I went to in Savannah, Georgia that has like this one tea that I really love. That's like a herbal one from like, I think it was like a Native American sort of like, kind of like tea that they used to have a lot of. I need to pull it up. It was Yapon. Yeah. It kind of almost has like a weird like, I guess it's weird to describe it as like kind of like pool water-ish, but it kind of almost has that sort of like pool water-ish kind of taste to it. But like Yapon tea is so nice. It has like this almost kind of like earthy light taste to it. I'm so sorry. I ended up talking so much about tea, but I love it. I love tea and I love coffee so much. It's why I wanted to go with like the cafe concept at first, before I realized that like, what's it called? I think that for like the character of Rocknut, it makes more sense for him to like have the tea stuff in like the afternoons and then Moonlight as like a radio host or as a DJ. Yeah. So you've arrested two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you?
Well, yes. They rounded up pretty quickly, the lads on the beat.
And Miss Lestrade is being held in prison?
She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course.
Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What his condition is?
Sorry, not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential.
Coffee I like really can't drink, no matter what small taste, and try with baby coffee. I feel like with coffee, I usually really like the darker roast. One, because it has like that sort of like, almost kind of like cocoa kind of taste to it. But also because like, it has a lot less acidity to it, so it's a lot kinder on my stomach, but I can also get like that nice bitterness to it. But usually I try to go for tea a bit more.
I can't see him, I'm family, you know.
Well, I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy, no fixing at all.
The best use of coffee is doodling with it. Oh, like painting with like kind of like coffee, like kind of like putting like a little like sort of paintbrush in it and using it as almost like kind of like water painting. or like a watercolor. It's so awesome. I imagine it makes for like a nice like kind of like brown tinge when you do watercolors. But yeah, usually I prefer a lot more tea. I think I'd often try to drink a lot more of it throughout the day. Sometimes I still dip into coffee because it's a vice of mine. Coffee's too bitter, I don't like it. Usually put a quart of sugar in my tea. I feel like I've gotten so used to drinking everything without sugar that usually when I put sugar in something, like it's like on a very special occasion when I want something super sweet. It's usually an all or nothing thing where I'll make like really bitter black tea with like metric tons of sugar with some mints just because that's how my dad used to like brew it quite a bit. But also like when I really feel like something sweet, I usually have my coffee with like some cream and sugar. Usually I have it black, but I think for those special times I'm like like a little French vanilla with some like, what's it called? With some sugar and some like, make that really sweet and warm. Nice. The bullet must have hit the artery in his midriff. He lost a fair bit of blood. Oh no. He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so, but a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even one Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. You gotta stop that bleeding.
But will he be alright? Won't he? They'll be able to make him better?
Oh, of course, your ladyship. You'll be right this way before you know it.
Really? How do you know?
How do I know? Well, because of course. Ah, yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective. That's why.
We'd better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again. The only bitter ice I missed in is very dark chocolate and matcha. I do like really bitter chocolate. But matcha is really beautiful. I love matcha. I think it's something where I feel like matcha lattes are like a guilty pleasure of mine, but I also like to buy like some of the loose stuff just so I'd be able to whisk it together. I just really like kind of like the earthiness of green tea. So I feel like the matcha really encapsulates that really nice earthiness that I kind of look for. And for real with the sweet stuff, because I get with the tiny bit of icing, I feel like it'll vomit. I feel like, yeah, I think it's one thing where I recently had a cake and like most of that cake was kind of icing. At some point I was like, oh boy, I can have a cake full of icing. And then like by the time I was halfway done with it, I was like, it was almost like an endurance test. Please don't die early. I think it might have been like a birthday cake for somebody. I'll report your ladyship the morning I hear he's out of the operating theater. It might have been a birthday cake for myself. Yeah. Because I think I asked for like a cannoli cake and then like most of the top was frosting. Wait a second. What were some of the occasions recently? Sorry. I couldn't help but notice, Inspector. What? Out with it, sunshine. Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. Watch your sauce, Sonny. I'm a copper. We don't go in for favoritism. I think it might have been my birthday cake. Or like, what's it called? The cannoli part, or the mascarpone part was like amazing. And then like, the chocolate ganache was a guilty pleasure, but it like killed me when I had it. The chocolate ganache was so rich. I was like feeling it in my teeth. No, there was a different one where the frosting was like bad for my teeth. It was a different cake. I scraped all the icing with not the jam roll. Still felt awful. Sacrifice for ganache. I feel like chocolate ganache is always something I trick myself into thinking is like the best. Because like I'll take a bite, think it's amazing, and then I'll take like 5 bites and keel over. pistachio cake I bought was super sweet. I feel like that was something I feel like I had a pistachio cake recently. Yeah, we had one. Yeah, I think that was the one. I think it was that pistachio cake where there was so much frosting and the frosting was killer. The frosting on that pistachio cake was so intense. It was like pure unfiltered sugar. It was like dramatically sugary.
It's because of those Adventures of Ryuulock Shome stories, it seems. That's why.
Oh,
I crop 'em up, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson.
oh, yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's. Oh, hi, Amana.
You doing good? Everything good?
What did you write about, Inspector Iris? I don't remember, really.
It was one of Shome's lines. Gregson is the smartest of Scotland Yarders, is how he put it.
Oh, did I write that?
And you know what that one line did for me, eh? The very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's like, oh, I did something good? Of course. It has to be me. Amazing how you caught on that. Oh man. Amazing. I wrote that. I made a line that was that special that like the inspectors like in my good graces. Me? Amazing.
All because everyone at the yard reads them. They read all the Ryuulock Shome stories. They even set up a fan club for me.
Of course. That explains everything. It was around that time you became such a toady to me.
Can you blame me? All it takes is one bad word from you, and Shomes could change his tune about me. Gregson, no. The great detective will say. He's getting quite overrated these days. Think what that would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost worrying about it.
But that would never happen, Gregsy.
You jelly of Sherlock. He really wants the credit, but he also gets enough buttering up from them. He's like, I know I'm on thin ice, but like, the fact that like, I'm on thin ice, the fact that I'm getting praise is a little too sus.
Every month when New Rents magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages.
Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some my tea to settle your nerves.
Has enough butter from these never-ending fish and chips. All of the oil from the fish and chips gets to him, so the tea has to like kind of almost like dilute like the oil.
Oh, lovely gamer girl bathwater.
Ta!
Very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship.
Teetotal. Oh no, like booze. Teetotal.
Oh yeah.
The tea has to cleanse him of the oil in his blood. It's like, this one is good for my like circulation. And for what's it called? I imagine his stomach is in uproar from all that like oil in the fish and chips. Like there's no way he can eat all of that and not feel like a rumble in his stomach. The worst reflux known to man.
Oh yeah, there's something I was supposed to talk to you about actually, Mr. Naruto.
Yes. What is it?
I've got an important message from you. I clean forgotten about it until now.
An important message? Wonder what it could be. Are you gonna tell me what this message is?
Yeah, it's about the young lady who's normally by your side. Your assistant.
Dear Susie, she alright?
She's at the station, isn't she?
being questioned, I believe.
Nope, not anymore. She had to head off.
Head off? Where?
To Lord Strongart's office, of course. He summoned her.
Ah, yes, of course. I'd forgotten about that.
One of the whipstocks took her in the yard carriage after we finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey, and to go to meet her there. She's got rotten mouth using Scotland Yard's the bloomin' messenger service.
I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector. Why did Susie have to see the Lord Chief Justice? She didn't tell me. But I'd better head over to Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. Can I actually investigate anything here? Let's see. Alright then, let's see what we can uncover.
Oi, what you think you're doing, Sunshine? Can't touch anything in here.
Oh, but we were hoping to investigate.
This is a crime scene, for Pete's sake. No touching.
Let's investigate the spilled chips. Let's see if you weren't here during the shooting. If there isn't spilled, like, chip oil from, like, the crime scene.
What's your problem?
Oh, I'm ever so sorry, your ladyship, ever sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side.
Of course, if Mr. Naruhodo has been properly appointed by the accused, that be another matter.
The accused?
If you could show me some representation papers, I'd be all too happy to let you nose around. Did you hear that, Runo? You need Ginny to sign some representation papers.
It looks like presenting the detective here is the only way. It'll probably be all over the city now. A whole trail of chips that he just dropped on over.
Instructions are to examine every article, ledger and books.
Every article? But that's a ridiculous amount of work.
We've been hard at work ever since the shop was declared a crime scene. Sifting through the shifts, at least, but still. We've been working through the night, that's for sure. We've even been barely making a scratch.
A crime in the pawnbrokers. Must be every policeman's worst nightmare.
It's every copper's worst nightmare, you know. A crime in a pawnbrokers.
Oh shit. There we go. Yeah, like a crumb trail. New location's been added. Oh, come on. I wonder if I can beg, what's her name? I cannot beg you for that. Never mind. Let us go to Strongheart's place. Soon is not even begging for the paper sign up. It's like, I just need you to give me permission to like root around here. But I guess I have to wait a bit.
Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I'll always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow. Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal.
How so?
I mean, look at the suit of armor over there. You can't take it seriously, can you?
Maybe it thinks the same about you.
So everything is clear with regards to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust.
Hiro must have just jumped on the end result screen. Oh wow. That sounds interesting. Hiromasa Panther. Oh. I haven't played the game much, but what's it called? This is a nice design. I like this dude. Little Kitty was probably roaring. It would be a little kitty if I had the skin. There they are, Susato and Lord Strongheart.
I wonder what they're talking about. It looks very serious.
Very good. There is no further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to prepare for your return to your homeland.
Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland. Susato-san!
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
What was that all about?
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you for coming to collect your colleague.
What's this all about? Why were you talking about Miss Susato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow?
Tomorrow. But what about Ginny's trial?
You mean she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Miss Susato, what's this all about?
Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as—
It's not what I asked! What happened? Why are you leaving?
It's my father. He's fallen ill. Oh no!
Professor Mikotoba.
If I may,
Yes, sorry.
you must be the defendant, Ryuunosuke Naruhodo, I believe.
Yes, that's right.
My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I am a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University.
We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news.
10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown. And it seems he's growing weaker day by day.
I don't believe it.
As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days.
He does look like a JoJo. He kind of looks... He kind of looks like, what's his name? Like Donatello Versus from Part 6. Except with a little more slick back hair. Yeah, it kind of looks like him, doesn't it? I'm gonna post this in here. See. Yeah, he kind of looks like Donatello from JoJo. I kind of see what's happening. Man, that was hilarious when like the what's it called, the JoJo anime came out and the dub was happening, and like you just had like this sort of back and forth between him and Poochie, where like Poochie's like, Donatello versus, are you going to focus? Oh my, your stand is doing quite bad. Oh my, do you need help? In order to attain heaven, you need to be paying attention. Are you paying attention, Versus? Are you going to be able to do your job? And Versus is just like, will you shut the fuck up? Just constantly. It was so hilarious. Poor Dilfatoba is ill. Dilftada Mikatoba. Yes, absolutely.
I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning.
I can't believe this is happening.
So Gina's been charged. She'll have to appear tomorrow in court?
Yes, she's been formally charged a few hours ago. And the date for the trial's already been set for tomorrow.
No, not even 24 hours later?
Gina. Ah, the Lestrade girl. And the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes? An all too conspicuous case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is without wasting time on these open and shut cases.
It's not wasting time. Ginny would never do something like that.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart? In deference of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave. Now.
Ah. Of course, Lord Strongheart.
Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford time it takes to unravel their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetuated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend.
Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday? Yes, Inspector Gregson made some similar remark yesterday.
It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. "3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me."
There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart.
Which is it?
It's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her.
A timely suggestion.
Sorry?
The girl currently has no representation.
But that's not fair. Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial.
Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right.
Why would she do that? We already found this out. You had the answer straight from her mouth. She doesn't trust adults. You know this, Ryuunosuke.
A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade.
You might be able to find it in your memory palace, you oaf.
You'll find her at the local prison.
Yes, thank you. Ryuunosuke had got a little woozy on the walk on over. Her distrusted adults makes me curious about her backstory.
Yeah, I wonder. It's about time for you to leave. Goodbye.
What a day. Gina charged with murder. Susato's about to leave. Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Iris, we must make haste. But, Susie, you're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can. Thank you, Miss Susato. That's a very pensive look. I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go.
If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can as a lawyer. Because it's back to Gina's place as I pretend that I didn't hear about her. Hello again, Gina. Hello again! This implies that I met her before and she told me about why she didn't want representation. But I just miraculously... I'm gonna not harp. Oh. Again. I thought it was already loaded. What you lot here for now? So the muzzle and that grenade launcher shoved in our faces yet again, obviously.
I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition at things, don't I?
Look. You can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you.
Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say.
What?
I'm sorry to say, I must reluctantly bid you farewell. Farewell? Tomorrow, I must begin my journey back home. To Japan. I fear we may never meet her again.
Gina's autism eyes she'll do relents. It's like I gotta give her the little guy. The little yeepy. The creature. Just stare at her until she's like, okay. Okay. Alright.
I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories.
Especially the stuff with regards to the fucking McGilded trial. The wonderful memories.
And yet, as things stand now, it'll be glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie. Well, that ain't my business. Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you'd be innocent, Gina. They put their faith in you. But somehow, you still can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them.
Yeah, that's right, I can't. What of it?
It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they're not so clearly unhappy. Because of you.
You're blaming... You're blaming her. Oh man, laying on the guilt hard. It's like, everyone's so unhappy. It's because of you, Gina. What? It's my fault? Yes, it's your fault, Gina. So I have one request, Gina, before our paths never cross again, Gina.
Right here and now.
I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you. Holy fuck. I want you to grovel and say you don't deserve good friends.
Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be.
What are you talking about? What you expect me to do, eh?
You told us that everyone lies.
So prove it, by admitting one of your own untruths.
What did you say before, Gina? You said something about unforgivable lies.
You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. Man, she's scary.
That's my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant.
No, I can't. Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but... is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about the trial? The one in which Magnus McGilded was acquitted. Ah. The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness in the prosecution. Is that what this is about? Yeah, you're right. Because that trial. I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe. Will you tell us about it now? Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. Coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand. Based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent. Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff. I knew it. What sort of things did you lie about? I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. It was pitch black in that little cubby hole. Couldn't see a thing. And then I had a loud thud, like someone falling on the floor. And that's when Mr. McGilda discovered you. Yeah. He pulled me right out of the seat, sat me next to the dead man. Oh man, thrice fired Mason. There weren't much light to see by, but when I looked at me hands, I had covered blood all over them. I was so scared, I couldn't even speak. Oh, poor Mason. Being propped up while he's dead, that's fucked up. You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight. And then Mr. McGilded started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were, why you were hiding under the seat. Yeah, it did. Only, that's not all. What do you mean? It might end it around like a half hour from now. Yeah, see, next to a corpse, it's so bleak. I mean, he threatened me. Threatened you? How? He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd had. About what was going to do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scarper before the coppers showed up. Gina, you must tell me what he swore to you in secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything. Yeah, I imagine that it was something where it was like, if you don't lie for me, I'm going to have you like locked up forever and say that you did it. You said Mr. McGilded made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you? Yes. With Mr. McGilded sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true. But it was when I had the thud in the cove hitting the floor. I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. McGilded had that and dragged me out by my arm. That's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geyser, what he had stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny. A disc? You mean... Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me in the Winterbanks. So the music box disc was there on the floor in the omnibus, right? Not for long. McGilded spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it inside his little inside pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder. The one my sweet darling Benedict wanted, yes. And the bog trotter told me. I went to mutter a word to it once. Bog trotter. Oh no. I hope that's not... Oh. That's a slur. I remember. Oh my. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, like... I remember back in college, like, doing a lot of, like, English-Irish literature. And, like, it's, like, a very bad way of, like... I guess, what's it called? It's, like, not only saying somebody's poor, but I remember it was something where, like, a lot of people used to be buried in bogs. Like... There was an old poem about, like, what's it called? Bog people in Ireland. I believe it was, what's it called? Was it Butler Yeats? William Butler Heaney's. Seamus Heaney was one of them. Yeah, it was very haunting. It was very haunting to hear about, like, I guess, like, the people that were, like, preserved in, like, bogs. But I remember it being something. Why to mutter any of it? Cause it was so dark under the seat of the cab. I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the floor was of footsteps inside the cabin. Presumably, it was Mr. McGildy getting on board. Yeah, I think it was one of those things where, like... I think, like, it might have happened during, like, a war. Yeah, mummified corpses. Like, that would happen in, like, bogs. Like... It was wild. Presumably that was Mr. McGildy going on board. Not only him. Oh. Because I could definitely make out the footsteps of two people. In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGildy and the victim. Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the testimony during the trial, Mr. McGildy claimed to have slept during the carriage ride. But whenever I'm in the carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. In your own testimony, Gina supported this. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear him talking the whole time, low voices. What? What are you talking about? Sorry, I don't know. It's out of the arses, and the wheels was too loud. That still tells us something. Mr. McGildy and the victim knew each other. So McGildy was lying as suspected. I knew it wasn't gonna take long before someone raised the alarm and that bloke had been killed. Yes, you're quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, McGildy told me to ride under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. Two cobs from up on top ran off in the coppice. Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right. After they'd gone, McGildy asked if the driver to do him a favor. A favor?
Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat off mine and deposit it in the nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. Aye, I'll give you 10 guineas.
A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street? Yep, you got it. It was Windibank's. The coach, he snapped up and won the money and ran off to pop a coat as fast as he could. The carriage man sure was shaking cold hard. I guess because he was able to pawn it off for a little something. There was no one left in the carriage. McGild opened the box under the seat and let me out of there. And not without conditions. I see. What were Mr. McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean. Not telling a soul, not for anything, but what I saw, what I had. And there was something else as well. There's more? Yeah, this is the most important thing, he said.
I'm afraid sending a coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you say anything at all? At all?
You said I'm gonna pop your weasel, right?
Aye. The fiend's taking me overcoat to deposit it in the pawnbroker's whereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand?
What? You want me to have the ticket?
That's right. I'll come fetch it for you later, sometime in the next 2 months. You're hanging on to it until then, is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it.
Alright then.
And in case I might happen to be delayed after all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Windibank, so it is, and you're to extend the loan for about 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited, and any old fiend will come along and buy it.
Huh? But I ain't got that kind of brass.
Here's £5. That should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now. If you go against me...
Yeah, I get it.
Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt.
The coppers?
Aye. They'll be coming asking you to take the stand in court to testify as a witness. So let's have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is that, you might say? What is it? Get out!
After he'd gone over now, I parked it. Got as far away there as I could. He hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark. So Mr. McGill had planned it and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied. In a big old courtroom. I told some caucus. The thing is, he said he would make it so that we wouldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew everything what we went on back in the slums. You know, we had no one to look after us. We was all just looking out for each other, getting by together. I would go now, look, because I go sleep. Good luck. Alrighty then, I'll see you. I shouldn't be too much longer. I think I have like another like maybe 20 odd minutes. Maybe by the time I leave the prison part, it'll be a little over.
So you mean Mr. McGilded would have... In a not, Pete. He would have a lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And where he would have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So, I didn't have no choice. Thank you, Gina,
for telling us everything.
But I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid.
Oh, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor.
A favor? What?
Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial.
Uh-huh.
If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us.
Investigate what?
The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see.
You what? Early's having a big operation now, Ginny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Mr. Sholmes is gonna be alright, right?
And that's why I wanted to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything.
Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of old paper, everyone's happy, is that it?
Something like that. Miss Susato.
Yes, of course. I have representation papers here.
I don't need anyone to stick up for me though. No lawyer, nothing.
Poor Ginny. She seems so alone.
Her representation paper shows the Scotland Yard get access to the crime scene. Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Windibanks now.
Yes. And perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done here.
I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opening up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Mr. Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windibanks. Although, something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. Oh, to be continued. I guess this would be a time to head off. I'm so sorry. I think, what's it called? Yes. There we go. Save at the top here. Save at the top there. Part 4. I guess probably this will be it. But, hold on. Hold up. Here we go. Exit the game. We're gonna save. Alright. Let's do another one for old time's sake.
Yay.
Oh, no investigating? I mean, I could always try investigating. Hold on. Maybe a little extra. Sorry about that. Maybe a little extra time. Yeah. It shouldn't be... I don't think it'll take too much time. I think probably another 15 minutes should be good. Let's see. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please?
Where is it now? You should go home and get some rest.
Here you go, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers.
Your ladyship? No! I don't believe it. How the devil do you get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you. That's good work, that is.
I can see you've been really busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue.
Lovely. Let's see that. Yes, yes. I hardly fit tight at all. And fit as a fiddle, your ladyship.
Would it be alright if we investigated the scene of the crime then?
Do as you please. You know where it all happened. Through the door behind the counter.
Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Windibank and Gina.
Right, well, I'll be getting back to business then.
We'd be investigating the store as well?
If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. There are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever. Even the lads are working around the clock. Which is a problem. This is another case the odds needs to investigate urgently.
That must be what Lord Strongheart's talking about.
So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine.
Come then, let's not waste time.
There are article ledger here and Mr. Windibank's notes, and looks as though someone has left a little photograph behind. Oh look, it's just like the one with Gina. Show us, Susie. Well, they have little cats on it. This one has blood. One gentleman's overcoat. A loan amount, £1. Redemption deadline, the 15th. A gentleman's overcoat. Pawned by the pound. Clearly a very fine coat, in fact. Blood, my favorite. Yes, it must be the ticket and the overcoat that Ginny redeemed, and is still wearing, which belonged to Mr. McGilded. We'll never have to expect the redemption ticket to be handwritten in the back of the photograph, though. It seems Windibank used whatever piece of paper he had on hand. Especially cats. This photograph of a cat looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen the exact picture somewhere elsewhere.
Oh yes, you're right. Very recently. Same as the one Ginny gave us earlier.
Of course. I was forgetting that print. What are you waiting for? Get it out! Let the cogs turn. Oh, it's because of Ryuulock's like security camera. It was taking pictures, so he just used the spare like Polaroids to like put some of the tickets on it.
I've got it. These two photographs hide an amazing secret.
A secret? What does she mean? You must tell us, Iris. At once.
Do you really, really, really want to know?
Yes, we need you to tell us. So Iris, about these two photographic prints. The ones we found here at the Windibanks and the one that Gina came before. Not the stereoscope info dump. The amazing secrets hidden between the two identical prints. The heads. Actually, that's not quite right. Sorry.
If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly.
They're not?
Have a look at them now. Can you see that they're just slightly different?
I think so. It's very subtle though.
But what's the reason for the subtle difference between the two prints? Ah, well, it's because they're a set, you see.
No, I don't. This pair of photographs
is meant to be used in a stereoscope. Everyone in London's raving about them.
A stereoscope? Why do I feel as though I heard that before?
Oh yes, that's what Mr. Shom showed us yesterday.
Yeah, it's good.
You see, there it is. Just over there.
Oh yes, of course. A magical machine that makes your pictures look real enough to the touch.
Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in the pictures even without those contraptions.
Really?
You know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear in any depth in the first place?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, wonderful. Then I'll be able to tell you.
She's over the moon, bless her. Should we let her explain, though? We need to carry on with the investigation.
I, for one, simply have to know.
Oh my. You were right, Izzy.
Have you ever considered, Runo, how our eyes see depth in the world around us?
Well, I just opened them, and it works.
But for some reason, it works because we have two eyes.
Two eyes, shocking.
If you try to close just one at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What do you see with your left eye? And what do you see with your right? Are ever so slightly different. Get a different view with each eye.
Yes, the position of objects seems slightly.
Exactly, in your head, your brain uses the shift estimates as it merges the two views into one. And that's how we can sense depth in everything we see.
Huh, my brain's exciting, isn't it? It doesn't so much without telling me.
Ah, I think I see. So the pair of photographs consistent of the left eye view and the right eye view.
You know how domestic abuse is everyone before? This one is stereoscopes. I feel like I prefer stereoscopes over the spousal abuse of 4. So already 1-5 is a lot better. So if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'll be able to see the depth in these prints.
Yes, Runo, you're beginning to understand. And the stereoscope's functions is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that. Yes, but as long as you have the two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all.
Can? Really?
Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints without help.
A pretty blonde. I'm dying to have you know, Susato really loves this kind of thing.
You need to be able to cross your eyes. That's the main thing. Can you do that?
Cross my eyes? Well, I think I can.
Watch me. Watch and see if you can copy.
Oh.
Make your eyes do this.
Alright.
Let me try this. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? There, how's that? Wonderful. Now it's your turn, Runo. The trick is to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time.
Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed.
Alright, that's enough practice. Let's try looking at the prints. Start by staring at one print and slowly cross your eyes.
You should see two overlapping images like this.
You try it now, Runo.
I'm just gonna have to give it a try, I suppose.
Did the print split into two images for you? Now the next step is to put the pair of prints side by side like this and then try crossing your eyes again. The prints should slowly merge together until they form a new single image in the center. Oh yes! Mr. Naruhodo, it works! I can see it in the middle now. They look so real! Oh, I could look at it all day.
No, baby. I wouldn't advise that. Your eyes might start hurting. I have to do the crossing eyes unless you want to. I was like, okay. Maybe. Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly close your eye, cross your eyes. Keep adjusting until your eyes of the two images overlap. Oh, I got it. It combines. It pulled through. I feel like there was something like this where I did have to. There was something I looked at where I had to cross my eyes for it. It might have been an optical illusion for something dirty. I wasn't sure. I don't know who discovered it, but it was really quite extraordinary.
So what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Ryuulock?
They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get a knack of viewing them properly.
No, some would find it easier than others. That's why contraptions like this exist, for people who find it tricky.
Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? If I remember correctly, you press your little knob, this little knob here.
Then set the pair of photographs in the stand in the back, and
it's still amazing, even though how roughly it works now.
Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. You can find one in one of these folding contraptions with a lot of household in the capital.
Bloody calendar, my friend, wait, it's gone. Oh.
Surely there's no need to go around staring cross-eyed at things if you hate it. But it's much more satisfying to be able to see the effects with your own eyes. Well, I think so anyway.
The prints, I never heard of them until yesterday. Well, we certainly learned a lot about them, but I wonder if it's knowledge I'll ever actually need. That ledger is open in the counter there really is enormous, isn't it? Must be a lot of work to track all these names. It's too much to think about. Better sell it and have a clear mind if you ask me. Winnebake's very careful to care, I guess, for these articles.
That's a music box. Do you have them where you come from, Ryuulock?
Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan.
Oh, well, this will be a treat. Shall we have a listen? What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound?
It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks.
Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gregsy to have a word.
Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. The music box from the collector's edition of Undertale. You get to listen to the snowy Snowden. The Snowden song is so nice. I'm gonna hear Megalovania, the storm, isn't it? That's what Gregsy said. The music box plays his theme. Bum 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 bum. And that's where I saw the dreadful scene last night, through a little window in the floor, in the door. Mr. Windibank face down on the floor with Gina beside him. As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruhodo. You must make a thorough examination. Yes, of course. And we will. Behind that door, that's the real scene of the crime.
Don't worry. There's some clues in there, I'll find them.
Oh. The Asgore theme. His theme is the song that plays when you put the umbrella in the statue. It's the oh, that one. I feel like I might have to finish up soon. It's starting to get really late on my end. Forfeiters, strange miscellany. By the horse statue, for example. Sometimes you can find some real treasures among the junk.
You alright, Ryuulock?
It's just, well, it looks like the collection of useless junk as a whole, but when you You can help pushing in your own, even the horse statue. That's exactly what the pawnbroker works. Let's see, yeah. Oh, this one. Ooh, that's sus. Oh yes, a bullet hole, as you can see from the bullet. Presumably Mr. Windibank wasn't practicing in his spare time. Ah, well, Mr. Shomes likes to practice in his drawing room. He's very patriotic. Sorry. It's all there in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, isn't that right, Iris? I did write something like that, partly in jest. In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It's quite a dangerous pastime. He doesn't do it often? He shouldn't even do it once! Forget that now, Ryuulock. Let's examine the bullet. What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? Suspicious red stain on the calendar. Aha! I may be able to help with that. What? There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there? I have a feeling it's not as bloody-minded as you, Iris. I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold. There you have it. You see, when it comes to blood, we're all different types. Yes, what a scientific observation. So you need this. Oh no, what is that scary-looking thing? Hurley and I haven't actually come up with a name. As soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch. Man, tampering with the evidence. Oh, the color of the blood stain has changed? There, does it make sense now? Yes, I think I'm starting to understand. Good. It works on the principle that different people have different types, you see. Yes, how wonderful. The chemical it fires combined with the blood makes it change color, so you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at in the flash. Oh, that's a fabulous invention, Iris. Isn't it? Isn't it? I bet Jenny would say it's bleeding great. So whose blood are we looking at then? Well, all the chemicals does is turn the blood a different color, so... just find someone whose blood turns the same color and you'll know who it belongs to, in a flash. It's more like 2 flashes, really. 1 flash or 2, this could turn out to be a valuable clue. So we must take note of it. Let's keep testing and adding the results to any other blood analysis in the portfolio. As long as I have a regent left, sure. I think I'm gonna investigate, maybe... I think... Go stab someone. We're gonna hunt down Ben. I'm gonna stab at him a bit. I wanna see him again. Any excuse would be a fine one. But yeah, I might have to save and leave now. I'm sorry. It's getting really super late on my end. Starting to get tired. We got to the calendar. That's what I really wanted to see. Perfect. I'm glad that I was able to hit up on the parts of the investigation that are super important. But yeah, it was really nice to be able to see everyone again. It was really nice to be able to get a little further into 5. It's like, with a little bit more of that in mind, with a little bit more of that investigation going, maybe the trial will start a little bit soon. But it'll be exciting to get further into it. But before that, I'm going to give a little poke to my beating mark, poke the mic, and send out all kinds of positive vibes. Alright. See y'all on Sunday, where I'm trying to figure out what to play. I'll let y'all know, I guess, on social media, but I'll see y'all on Sunday. Bye.